We previously documented our bafflement with Karen Marie Moning's Fever series and how addicting it is, even though it's not quite the greatest piece of literature out there. But I think that since Feverborn has come out, we've just given up. I mean, what's the point of questioning something that we clearly enjoy?
Seriously, when you stop picking it apart and noticing all the things that are a little bit suspect and just file it away as a guilty pleasure, it becomes the best thing ever.
So if you have not read the Fever series and are wondering what it's about, check out our informal review of the last 7 books, linked somewhere on the internet.
So, Feverborn. After defeating the Hoarfrost King, who was collecting sound waves to try and reconstruct the Song of the Making, the Nine, Mac, Jada, Christian, and the rest of Dublin have a big problem. The black holes left behind are absorbing matter and spreading, and if they keep expanding at their current rate, they are going to swallow the world and destroying Earth and the fairy realms attached to it.
Meanwhile, everybody else also has their own personal problems. After discovering that the Shisar Doob is imprinted on her mind, there to tempt her for all eternity, Mac stops trusting herself, reality, and the world. Also, there is a person wandering around Dublin with the face and mind of her dead sister, and it is creeping her the fuck out.
But on the plus side, Mac and Barons are still going steady, and they're having an ungodly amount of sex that makes this book kind of uncomfortable to read on the subway or at work, basically anywhere in public.
Jada is still having problems being accepted after coming back 5 years older and changed. She's still running the militant She Sears, but she's being forced to work together with everyone else. This means she has to sort out all her emotions and decide how she feels about each of the men trying to get in her pants.
Christian has finally gotten more comfortable with his transformation into one of the Unseelie Princes, and he's now trying to sort out what happened to his uncle's body.
Together, all the characters are a mess of problems and agendas, but it works together surprisingly well to create a well-paced and twisty plot, with an ending that will make you a whiny 3-year-old. Unfortunately, as this is the 8th book, it is impossible to review this book without spoilers, so if you want to be surprised by the series, this is your exit. Otherwise, prepare yourselves.
Bruce is back, and he's managed to free himself from his paralysis prison, and he can now wander the room. His only contact with the outside world is the creature of unknown origins, Oogie Boogie. Papa Roach. Papa Roach wants someone to grant his wish. I think it's for a body. So he's two-timing Riordan while actually working for the Unseelie Prince.
And with Papa Roach on his side, Cruz is gearing up to start some major trouble. He even manages to start a fairy riot and set the Abbey on fire. What his escape plan and goal is, I have no idea, but I'm not sure we're gonna like it. I just hope that after all this crap, he's gonna get his comeuppance in the end.
So Mac, Barbie on the outside, mostly badass on the inside. Every part of you, for some reason, tries to argue that she's problematic, especially with her extremely physical and possessive relationship with Barons, but I think the ship has sailed on that argument. She's badass, and she's independent, and we can leave it there.
Sure, Barons refers to Mac as my woman and is possessive, but he also always has her back, doesn't try to control her, trusts her decisions, and respects her.
Mac is possessive about him as well, and I generally think that if the relationship wasn't working for her, she would leave him. But for now, she's getting the support and the respect that she needs, so she stays.
What could also be problematic is Karen Marie Moning's depiction of masculinity, especially when it comes to the Nine. They're all alpha male, rah-rah, sex, dicks, male posturing, and sex. But there are a lot of male characters that do balance them out. Dancer, for one, is very emotionally insightful, and Christian, who's all family and clan. Barons was also an excellent father to his tortured son and probably would have been a really good father if his son hadn't been a body-changing, bloodthirsty, insane monster.
After Mac realizes that she is the copy of the Shisadu inside her, she begins to doubt anything that doesn't make sense with her worldview. She also hasn't heard from it in a while, so she has no idea what it's planning. So when she sees someone walking around looking exactly like her dead sister, she immediately thinks that it's an illusion the book has cooked up to trick her.
Which, I mean, great plot move because Mac has spent the last 7 books mourning her sister. Very, very believably, I might add. So to have her sister Elena wandering around now is extremely suspicious. Mac also begins to suspect that she might have unconsciously used the book to bring her sister back to life.
We finally get a chance to get to know a character that has only ever existed in Mac's memory, and we might finally get to see how she reacts to New Dublin and the world of Fae. We also do get to see how she reacts to Barons, Jada, and all these characters we've come to know and love. And knowing Karen Marie Moning, she won't be able to resist pairing her up with someone, which is something I would love to see.
Well, Laura's taken, so Castio maybe, or Christian? Yeah, Christian needs some lovin'.
Speaking of Laura, I love him unconditionally, and he's always had a soft spot for Danny / Jada, acting like her cool uncle, and now he's one of the only characters to welcome her back, so their relationship is adorable.
Everyone, including Laura himself, describe him as a caveman, more interested in banging, and all things straightforward. Well, it turns out he is actually smart. It's all been an act which he is slowly dropping as he develops feelings for Joe.
Joe, realizing that Laura with his caveman persona isn't what she wants in her life, so she tries to stay away from him, and Laura, realizing that if he doesn't smarten up, Joe will leave him, starts to drop the act. And oh my god, it's so cute, and I want them to stay together forever and have all the babies.
Other relationships on the love front include Jada and Royadan, and Jada and Dancer, which is an interesting love triangles, and I usually hate love triangles. So, coming home hardened and way more controlled than she was when she left, Jada has received a lot of flack from all the people who used to care about her.
Dancer accurately points out that even though she's only been gone for a few months to everyone in Dublin, to Jada, she's been gone 5 years, and she barely survived. It's only natural that she's come back changed, and no one seems to appreciate what she's gone through or that she managed to come home at all.
This is like telling a war veteran that they should be the exact same person they were when they left. Dancer is the only one who actually appreciates who she is now.
Riordan, on the other hand, has known Jada for longer and is her self-appointed protector since she was a kid. He's also clearly in love with her, and they do have a spark between them, but he's also probably not what she needs right now.
Watching the three of them work it out, seeing how Jada is going to choose between the two men, and watching how they affect her is going to be one of the things I am most excited for. I am also grateful to Dancer for finally starting to smooth things out between Jada and everyone else.
Moning does a great job illustrating just how much being stuck in the mirrors has messed with her mind, mainly because you get to the point where you're not sure if she's crazy or not. Throughout the book, she's been hiding this cat koala creature in her room that she met when she first got stuck in the mirrors, and it helped her survive.
She named it Shazam, and they are both very attached to each other. But when the fire hits the Abbey, Jada runs back in trying to get Shazam. Royadan, who's not sure if she's nuts or not, runs in with her trying to keep her from getting hurt. In the process, he gets horribly, horribly burned, and it's one of those moments where you see exactly how much this man cares for her. But it turns out that Jada had a stuffed animal in her room, not a creature.
And this leaves everyone in a really awkward situation of, should we be worried?
After a brief period of doubt, I'm pretty sure that Shazam is real. I really hope he's real because he sounds really cute and funny, like a binge-eating Eeyore.
But speaking of the 9, they're now 10. What? Well, actually, I guess they were always technically 10 because of Baron's son. So their numbers are back to normal, the 9 and the secret one. Riordan saved Christian's uncle's life, and now they're keeping him in the basement until he learns how to keep his human form. And I just want to say, what the fuck are these guys?
Well, I mean, these things can never really die. They respawn at the point of their original death. They can turn into indescribable beasts at will, and pretty much everything in the universe is either afraid of them or actively avoids them. And now they're talking about a tribunal that could possibly dispose of their new member? A tribunal? Dude.
All right, explain this to me like I'm a 2-year-old.
I'm so sick of not knowing what they are. Just tell me. I promise I will keep reading. It has been 8 books. I have a right to know.
But that's the thing about this series that makes it so addicting. Moning has a great imagination and always manages to work in something new that makes you go, Ooh, I haven't seen that before. Tell me more. And this series' edition is The Sweeper.
It was mentioned in the previous book when Mac gets surrounded by these ghoul things that won't leave her alone. It turns out that they're the scouting team for a creature that likes to fix things. The Sweeper even tried to fix the Unseelie King, and clearly that didn't work out. But holy crap, this thing is creepy, and I want to know more.
The Sweeper is described as this disturbing mass of flesh and machine parts all cobbled together because he's constantly working on himself. And by the end of the book, it has Mac and Jada strapped to an operating table, which has to be the secret nightmare of everyone everywhere. But I want to know more. Why? How? Can we kill it dead?
And you're sitting there like, holy crap, no one is going to be looking for these two for a while. And this is as bad as it gets because that psychopath is going to be back any second now. And then Mac decides that there's only one way to save her and Jada, and that's by taking a spell out of the She Said Do. And then she does this, and there's this great little passage that just sends a shiver down your spine.
My blood turned to ice in my veins and I could feel it. Oh God, I could feel it. Inside of me, expanding, cramming every nook and cranny of my being, blighting everything, blacking out the tiniest, most essential parts of me, draping my soul in homicidal rage and bottomless hunger and madness and horror, shoving me back and down, cramming me into a tiny box with no holes for air, packing me in there as tightly as a sardine. Just before the lid slammed down, I used the last bit of my control I had over my mouth to scream, "Run, Danny, run!" "Got you, sweet thing," purred the She-Sar-Do. And you're like, no, now we have to wait? This is so amazing, but so frustrating because what is evil and possessed Mac going to do? Is she going to try and kill Barons? She knows a lot about the Nine and their weaknesses. She could probably do it. How is she going to get herself out of this one?
Oh, character development. How I love thee.
So, all in all, Feverborn was an absolutely fun ride. I loved all the new things that were introduced. Nothing felt rushed. I want to know more, and the characters keep growing. I mean, Mac doesn't tell us what she's wearing or give us the nail polish colors she's using anymore. She finally has bigger things to worry about. Finally.
It's never going to be capital L literature, but what the heck? If it makes you happy.
It can't be that bad.
We both thoroughly enjoyed ourselves and cannot wait till the next one. Can't wait.
So, the Joe Lore pairing name, is it Jalore?
Blow?
Jor?